The Fantasy Skirmisher.
Hey guys, this is Nevin, and welcome back to the Fantasy Skirmisher. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite games, Frostgrave. And specifically, I'm going to share with you what I think is hands down the best expansion for Frostgrave. And I'm also going to talk about what I think is the best unofficial expansion. Sometimes I'll see questions on Board Game Geek and other forums from new players asking, after they purchase the initial rulebook, where should they go from there? Because let's face it, there's just a lot of content, and so they're looking for recommendations. And there's a lot of great suggestions that are thrown out there. I really don't think there's a wrong answer because I've loved all the supplements to date. But for me, hands down, the best expansion for Frostgrave is Ulterior Motives. Let's take a look at the back of the box. The frozen city harbors many secrets, and not all of them are ancient. While most adventurers who brave the danger seek wealth and lost magic, some journey into Frostgrave for more personal reasons. This expansion for Frostgrave consists of 40 Ulterior Motive cards, which add variety, depth, and new tactical challenges to wargames in the frozen city. Each card presents the player with a specific task to accomplish and offers rewards if they succeed. Some of these missions must be revealed to all of the players, others must be kept secret. Will your wizard seek to slay a great demon, rescue a desperate captive, bring retribution to an enemy? All wizards seek power, but what are their ulterior motives? So, opening up the box, you'll see that the deck of cards are oversized. And there's two cards which contain the rules. There's a few rules changes, but it's nothing major. The first one is during the treasure setup, one treasure token should be placed in the exact center of the table or as near to that spot as terrain permits. Then players take turns placing treasure tokens as normal, but each places just 2 tokens instead of the usual 3. And all members of the warband must deploy within 1 inch of their starting board edge. The last rule is really a moot point now because of the second edition rules. Here it says wizards gain only 40 experience points for each treasure successfully recovered during the game instead of the usual 50. From first to second edition rules, they changed the experience from 50 to 40, so that rule is really not needed anymore. And it's got some information on how to use ulterior motives, and it talks about placing red herrings that are permitted by the card, and then when to reveal the card, because cards either have the reveal keyword or the secret keyword, which determines when you reveal that. Then the card talks about the red herrings. So these are additional creatures or items of terrain that could be placed on the table, and the purpose is just to conceal your true motivation from your opponents. And so the terrain that may be placed on the table includes arcane disc, a gateway, a pit, a runic stone, a sarcophagus, a statue, a trapdoor, or a zombie. And I think for most of us that play Frostgrave or other types of miniatures games, that's terrain that we typically have, even if you're a D&D player and are just getting into miniature gaming. So these are the cards, and you can see it's got the title and then the keyword. It's either reveal or secret. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but it's got the flavor text and then the special rules that are involved. This card, I had a great game with this one. This is a card I just happened to have chosen during a late night game after a competition. And it's called Demon in Disguise. And in this card, I needed to nominate one of my opponents. And anytime during the first 2 turns, that opponent can remove one of his soldiers except an undead or a construct from the table and replace it with a major demon. The removed soldier is unharmed and can return to the next game at full strength. At the end of turn 2, the nominated opponent must place 1 soldier with a major demon if he has not already done so. The major demon is an uncontrolled creature. So if you kill the major demon, or if all the eligible soldiers from your nominated opponent warband are killed before the demon is revealed, you get to gain 80 experience points. Excuse me. So what happened during this game is my opponent converted one of his soldiers to a major demon, and then I successfully cast Bind Demon. And then the demon that I now controlled attacked his wizard, and my demon rolled a crit 20, killed his wizard, and then after the game, during the death rolls, he rolled a 2. His wizard was killed. A good time was had by all. Not really. I mean, I was having a good time, but obviously that was a big setback for my friend there. And it certainly made for a memorable game. So some of the other ones, the Money Pit, and you can see that it has a secret keyword there. Wraith Run, Strike a Match, the Drawing Knife, Galvanize, Ice Storm. There's just a lot of cards here. So it's going to give you a lot of variety for a long period of time. And you notice that the secret cards have the red herrings that are mentioned in the rules. So this one, written in stone, requires a gateway and a sarcophagus. The Last Meal requires a gateway and a statue. The Transporter requires a statue and a runic stone, and so on and so forth. So this is my favorite official expansion for Frostgrave. It just adds a lot of fun and more narrative to your game, so it's not just a treasure grab when playing a scenario. Now let's talk about my favorite unofficial expansion for Frostgrave. And I'm sure many of you out there are thinking of the magazine called Spellcaster, which is a great magazine and adds a lot of stuff to Frostgrave, additional rules, some scenarios, and it is certainly a magazine that I collect and utilize. But my favorite unofficial expansion for Frostgrave is the challenge coin. So challenge coins are something that have been used in the military for many years, and they're used to help build morale for the units. Each unit uses their challenge coins differently. They create their own traditions around them. And challenge coins was something that a friend of mine took an interest in and thought it might be fun for our club, New York City Frostgrave, to have. So he reached out to us, quote unquote, core members, the guys who always show up, right? And just wanted to see if this was something we'd be interested in. And we were. So we all pitched in, and we had a bunch of these made, and we all got to chip in as far as what the artwork looked like, and produced a bunch of them. So how do we use these? We use them, like I said, they are morale builders for our club. Since we carry them around, we can challenge each other if someone forgot to bring theirs. Our rule is we could steal 15 gold crowns from that person. And we also use these as gifts. So before COVID, when we had started a brand new campaign, we would have demo days where we would try to attract new players into the fold, see if Frostgrave is something that they'd be interested in. And we would give these out as gifts. Another use for gifts is one time we went up to Connecticut and met up with a group of gamers up there called Where Eagles Dare, and had a Frostgrave day. And so we brought up our coins and we provided these as gifts to the guys up in Connecticut. And in turn, they also had gifts for us as well, where they had made custom-made snowy bases, which were really cool and quickly used for a lot of my monsters. So this coin, as you can see here, one side looks like a Feldstad 1 gold crown, as we imagine what their money may have looked like. And then, our club artwork with New York City Frostgrave and a wizard with her her hand over the frozen city right here and some magical runes. It's a very solid piece, as you could hear there. And we came up with another use for this, which is actually a game rule, and it really helps lots in our games, to be honest. And so let's just take this scenario here. And let's just say that we're playing the Well of Dreams and Sorrow. And in this scenario, which is in both core rule books, your goal is to drink from the well. However, if somebody falls into the well, they go down to 0 hit points. So here we have a sigilist who wants to cast Push on this wizard here to see if she could drop them into the drink there. And then she rolls a 1 and just totally whiffs the spell. And she just does not have enough health to be able to empower the spell to be able to make it go off. So what does she do? Well, she does something called Fate. This is a rule that I borrowed from the Talisman board game where there's Fate tokens. And so this is our Fate token where one time in one scenario, you can use this to do a reroll. So I invoke Fate, and that allows me to reroll this 1, and then it goes to 13. It empowers the spell, and this was able to move him 3 inches, boop, and he goes right into the well and is now 0 hit points. So that is how we use our challenge coin as a rule for our games. As you know, using a d20 in this game can be very swingy and adds a lot to the fun and to the narrative. But sometimes you've got that crucial roll that you need to make and you just absolutely flub it. And so that's where the concept of Fate comes in. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and just perhaps you can consider Fate coins or some type of challenge coin for your club. I'll talk to you later. Bye.